You know, going to see this movie was a bit of like a double-edged sword because I was really hungry, but you cannot eat because everything is just so quiet. So this movie picks up literally right after the events of the first movie. John Krasinski's character sacrifices himself in order to save his family, and they now have to survive without him, and they have to survive without their home. The Abbott family is now on the run, so along the way they stumble upon Emmett, played by brilliant Cillian Murphy, who absolutely delivers a wonderful performance in this movie. So does really the entire cast. Alongside of him, they have to survive. Now this movie was so much of everything. It was so much hype, it was so much drama, there was so much to live up to when this movie did come out. And in my personal opinion, I gotta say it absolutely delivered and lived up to all the hype that was surrounding it. Back in 2018, A Quiet Place was the debut of John Krasinski writing and directing, and it was really good. It was awesome. It was horrifying. It was suspenseful. It had great acting. It had great directing. It had wonderful sound design, which really does all translate to this movie as well. Now, John Krasinski said himself he did not plan on actually doing a sequel, but the studio was going to do it anyway. So he said, all right, let's do it. And he absolutely delivers once again with this movie. Now, speaking a little bit about the sound design, it was absolutely wonderful. The way this movie just uses silence to inflict terror upon you is really absolutely something to behold. The monsters, I would even say, aren't as scary as the silence. And this movie does not really rely on jump scares. It creates tension. It earns every single moment of suspense that it has going for it. And I absolutely love that. And aside from the tension, you really do get a bunch of horror, and not just from the monster side. For instance, in one part of the movie, we do get to meet this survival clan of sailors. And it's really so utterly fucked up, but it's so much fun to watch. And touching up a little bit on that, now I do really love the way this movie explores survival tactics. There is a lot of them. The Abbott family really survives because they have rules. Going out as a team for provisions, never leaving anyone alone. They always travel as a pack because, as we all know, kids make a lot of noise. And well, we all know how that turned out for... Wow, that was grim. They walk through sand. They have paint on their floorboards in order to tell you where to step. And all those rules are what's kept them alive this entire time. But then you meet Emmett and the way he survives, just like a rabbit going down a hole and never coming out. But it's also much fun really looking at how this world develops and how every single person really creates their own survival in a different way. I enjoyed that so much. And the world expansion really does it for me. And I really love the set designs in the aspect that you don't get destruction porn. For instance, have you seen I Am Legend? I'm sure you already have. The opening scene, you see this shot of Manhattan absolutely destroyed, buildings covered in semen, and really kind of like this destruction festival. In this movie, it's absolutely not like that. Every single set design where you see something destroyed, for instance, a train, an old abandoned mining building, the characters really do involve the world around them. Now, Millicent Simmons is absolutely the highlight of this movie. In my opinion, the greatest actor of the movie. After that, followed by really a stellar cast. It was so well directed. It was so well produced. Everything was just so great. The hype was all the way dialed to 11 because A Quiet Place 1 was such a good movie. It was such a big thing to follow up to. And John Krasinski absolutely delivered, without a doubt. I was not disappointed one bit, and I absolutely loved how this movie came out. Other than that, if I do have to point out something that I really didn't like, I would have to say how the previous movie ended. This movie doesn't actually address that. In the end of that movie, you see 3 or 4 different monsters coming to the farm with Emily Blunt just, cocking that shotgun, and they're pretty much setting up a big fight, but you don't actually get to see what happens. Thinking really hard, that would be the only thing that really disappointed me, is that they just, survived because. Now, at this point, I am going to dive into spoiler warning, so if you have not seen A Quiet Place Part 2, this is your warning right here. I absolutely love the finale of this movie. I feel like it really reflected the ending of the first movie when Emily Blunt just kind of shoots the monster and then cocks that shotgun. And now in this movie, she is actually saved by her son, and Millicent Simmons saves Cillian Murphy. So they're kind of growing up in this world, and I absolutely love where these two characters are going. That little arc that they go through, really getting to become grown people in this really, really fucked up world. This movie was a ton of fun. I really, really, really enjoyed it, and I'm pretty sure you will too. And this movie absolutely deserves a 10 out of 10. The very first 10 out of 10 rating of the channel. Have you already seen A Quiet Place Part 2? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. If you haven't seen it, let me know what you thought about this video. Or go ahead and follow my social media. I'll leave a link in the description below. That way you can go ahead and also let me know through social media what you want to see next. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Right after the events of the first family,